everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Bubbles and Berries podcast. My name is Ode, and I'm coming to you from Edinburgh in Scotland. And today is January 1st, 2023. So, a very happy New Year's to you all. I hope you had a nice New Year's Eve, a nice New Year's Day as well. We call it Hogmanay in Scotland, the whole New Year celebration. I think it starts on the 30th of January actually, and it runs until today. And there's, in Edinburgh anyway, there's fireworks, there's concerts, there's all sorts of things. And yeah, none of which I really took part of. My husband and I stayed up last night to go see the fireworks, which is shot from Edinburgh Castle, and then it was raining and we were outside and we were cold, and we enjoyed the firework, and then we went home and went straight to bed. But that was actually really lovely. That's just how we like to do it. Neither of us likes crowds and parties and things, so yeah, that was lovely. We had a chill day, we saw the fireworks, and then today is another chill day, just the two of us. Anyway, a lot of rambling. I guess we're starting off the year well. I have a bit of a special episode for you today. I thought I would do a sort of year in review, or go through what I knit in 2022. I had a podcast last year this time of year, but I didn't do that video. Honestly, I don't remember why. I'm sure I had a good reason, but I don't remember what it is. But I thought this year would be fun. I would give it a try, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not gonna go in depth for everything that I knit, because I didn't realize, but when I looked at my Ravelry to sort of make a list of what it was that I knit in 2022, I actually knit quite a lot more than I thought I had. And yeah, it would take forever just to go in depth about everything. And also, it's all things I have talked about on podcast episode in a lot of detail. So if you want to know more about a specific item or a specific pattern, then I invite you to go back to that podcast episode or look at my Ravelry. I do keep up project pages. I'm not very good at writing a lot of details, although this is something that I like to do better in 2023, because I do like going onto Ravelry when I'm looking into a new project, into new patterns, and see what other people have done, and especially what other people have said about the pattern, if there's been any issues, how much yarn they actually used, and all of that. So if I find it useful, I think it's only fair that I put a little bit more effort into writing more notes, so that hopefully it can help other people as well. Anyway, let's look at the statistics of what I did this year. So I wrote it on a little piece of paper. And so I looked through my Ravelry, and so I knit 9 garments, 4 accessories, 3 are hats, and 1 is a headband, and then 11 pairs of socks. That, like, I didn't realize that I knit so many socks. It's almost 1 a month, and I don't know, I don't feel like that's what I did. But anyway, so all of this, so let's see, 11 and 4, that's 15, and 9, that is 24. That's quite good. I mean, it's not like there's a competition of like how much you're supposed to knit or how little you're supposed to knit, but I didn't put any pressure on myself to knit so many things in the year or anything, but I'm just, yeah, it's just interesting. I honestly had no idea before I looked it up how much I knit this year. In those all those items, quite a few were gifts. So out of the 9 garments, 1 was a gift. Out of the 4 accessories, 1 was a gift as well. And then out of the 11 pairs of socks, 7 were gifts. I think I like to knit socks, and I like to gift socks to people. They're just easy. They're easy to, like, it's not that complicated to make sure it fits, And yeah, there's just a fun mindless knit for me anyway. So yeah, I will go through all of them in categories. So I will start with the garments, and then I will do the accessories, and then I will do the socks. I'm not going to talk about all the pairs of socks, 11 pairs of socks. It's a lot. A lot of them are vanilla socks, which, I mean, it's not boring, but it's not like there's not much to say about it. So when it comes to socks, I have selected just 5 pairs that I wanted to share with you, just because there was something special about them. And that's that. Everything else you can find on my Ravelry if you're interested on my Instagram. And obviously, if you have any questions, then please leave me a comment and I'll happily answer if I can. So yeah, let's start with the garments. So I'm using my iPad here to look at all the details, because I don't remember them off the top of my head. And if I look to the side as well, it's because I'm trying a new setup where I used to use the front camera of my phone, but now I'm going to try and use the back camera of my phone where the quality is better. Then I have my laptop that I use as kind of like a viewfinder, so I might look to the side sometimes just to make sure that things are in focus, obviously. Not obviously, hopefully, which, I don't know, we'll see. It's the first time I tried out, I hope it works. Anyway, so let's start with the garments. I'm gonna do them in chronological order. And the first one that I finished in 2022, which I think I started in 2021, maybe, I don't remember, is this one. This is my Felix pullover. Let me check. Yeah, so that's my Felix pullover. Let me tell you more about it. I'm not going to try them on every time, but I'll put a picture on the side just to show what it looks like on me. Oh yeah, and I should say, so I think I'll just let you know about the yarn that I used, maybe the size that I made. If I remember, the picture will show sort of the fit that it has on me, and then any comments that I have, such as did I wear it, did I not wear it, if not, why, and things like that. So the Felix pullover by Amy Christophers, I made the second size. I made it for me. This is, I have to say, I don't think this is the most size inclusive pattern. Just putting this out there, it's not great, and I think it's a raglan with some details on the sleeves around the raglan stitches, but otherwise it's a fairly straightforward pattern. And I think there are other patterns that are somewhat similar that might be more size inclusive. I'm thinking, I don't remember the name of it, but I think Anna of Along Avec Anna has a somewhat similar pattern to that, and I think it's more size inclusive. And also there's 2 neckline options, I think, like a round neck and a v-neck. I believe so, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so Felix pullover, Amy Christophers. I knit this on 5 and 6 millimeters, so that tells me that that's an Aran weight probably. And I use yarn by Blacker Yarn. It was really lovely yarn. I think I bought this yarn on a D-stash for someone. It is a lovely color, and yeah, I quite enjoy it. The fit is fine. I think I probably did, like in my usual, I usually go for about 10 centimeters positive ease. That's how I like to wear my sweaters. And yeah, I wore it a lot last year after I finished it. I think I finished it, yeah, I finished it mid-February, so I still had a bit of time to wear it. The yarn is, I think, has some alpaca, yeah, 92% wool and 8% alpaca, so it's really woolly, really warm. So I wore it a bit after I finished it, and I really enjoyed it. I haven't worn it yet this year, I guess just because I knit other things that since that I've been wanting to wear, and also, I don't know, it's just the beginning of winter, so I'm sure I'll get more wear out of this. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I have to say about it. I enjoy it. It's a nice sweater, it's a nice color. I think it's a color that suits me, and I will keep wearing it. it hasn't peeled at all. It hasn't bubbled. So yeah, to be fair, I haven't really worn this one at home. I've usually worn it when I've been going out. So I'm not like wearing it and then being at my desk or something and my arms are rubbing against the desk or something. But yeah, it hasn't really peeled? No, peeled, bubbled. Let's just say bubbled. So yeah, that's sweater number 1. Let's see. Garment number 2 is my fairy cardigan, and that is one of my all-time favorite things I've knit this year and like ever, and it is this lovely cardigan. It's lace, it's cabled, the pattern is from a Shetland Wool Week annual, like the books that they make every year for Shetland Wool Week is from the 2021 book, and I love it. I love it. The designer is called Elizabeth Johnston. She's really lovely, and she makes beautiful pattern, and I absolutely love this one. The yarn that I used for that is yarn from Iona, which is an island on the west coast of in the west of Scotland. It's Iona wool, and it's really sheepy. It had quite a strong smell when I was knitting with it, which I don't mind at all. The smell is gone now. I washed it and rinsed it a couple of times, and then I let it out for a bit so it would air out. I didn't put it in. I have a big wooden trunk or chest where I put my sweaters in. I didn't put this one in for a bit just so the smell would come off, and it's fine. It doesn't smell at all. It's quite a cropped cardigan. It has short sleeves, and I've been wearing it a lot over dresses. I think it works really well over dresses, short sleeve dresses, because the sleeves are quite short. Usually the sleeve of the dress itself comes out a little bit, which I think looks quite nice. The neckline is quite open, so like I have some dresses that have kind of like a shirt collar, so I can put this over the collar over, and it looks really lovely. I really like it. But yeah, I wear it exclusively with dresses. The yarn is amazing. It's beautiful. If you've been here before, you know that Iona wool is one of my favorite yarns. I have another cone of gray yarn like this. I have another cone of their red yarn as well. I have projects for planned for that in 2023, and yeah, it might be like if I could only choose one yarn, it might be one on the list of like the yarns that I would choose, although they don't have a large range of colors, so I may end up being dressed in gray all the time. But yeah, I really love it. It blocked beautifully. It bloomed amazingly. It's the kind of yarn where if your knits and pearls or not, the tension is a bit different, and there's a bit of like growing out effect happening. No need to worry, it's going to block out, absolutely no problem. And yeah, I think this cardigan is also a bit special for me because the buttons are the buttons that were on the picture, on the pattern, and I really love them. And so I messaged the designer and asked where did you get those, and she told me but the shop didn't have them anymore. And then the lovely Ailey of the Thoughtful Knitter podcast messaged me saying that she had those buttons that she wasn't using, and she offered to send them to me. And yeah, I'm so grateful. I love it. I did one little modification on this pattern. So it is supposed to be a cardigan with buttonholes, and thing is that the way, I don't know if I made a mistake or the pattern, there was something in the pattern, but the buttons and the button, when I did the buttonholes, the buttons were off center. They were not in the middle of the button band, and that bothered me. And the other thing is that because the neckline is so wide, I don't actually unbutton it to put it on. I don't need to, I just put it on like a sweater. So what I did is that I sewed the two button bands together, sewed the buttons in the middle, and yeah. I can't open it anymore, but I don't need to. So yeah. Oh, and I made the size 2, which was the recommended size with the recommended ease, I believe. So, right, that is all I have to say, I believe, for sweater number 2. I'm gonna have a little sip of tea. and we will move on to sweater number 3, which is actually what I'm wearing right now. So let me put the iPad aside for a minute so I can show you, because I'm wearing it actually. So this is what it is. I don't know if you can see. This is the drop pullover by Albiona. It is true that I haven't knit an Albiona pattern in a little bit. I think the last one was maybe in June, but I still love her patterns just as much. And I have a few on my list for 2023. So this is the drop pullover. It is a really nice drop shoulder sweater, but not the kind where you have to knit the front and back flat and then join in around and then pick up stitches for the sleeve. The construction is made in such a way that you knit in the round from the start, basically. All right, I'm sorry, my phone stopped recording. I don't really know why, but let's keep going. I don't really remember what I was telling you, so I'll just go back quickly. The drop pullover by Albiona, and I think I was about to tell you about the yarn. And the yarn is a cone from Woolly Knit. They're 100% British wool cone in the shade navy blue that I held double, and then on top of that I added a third strand of lace yarn from Zakami yarn in the shade Midori, and that gives it that nice marled effect that you can see. Yeah, what to say about this sweater? I didn't wear it a lot last year after I made it, only because I think I could have and should have made it one size bigger. It's a drop shoulder, and I think drop shoulders look nicer when they're a bit oversized. So yeah, I didn't really wear it that much. The neckline was a bit high and things like that. And then a couple of months ago, I went through my sweaters and trying to figure out why I was not wearing some of them. And I thought that this one maybe, because it was to fit, and I thought maybe if I block it again and stretch it out more, that would be better. And indeed, it's much better. So I blocked it again, really stretched it out, which means that not only do I have a better fit, also I have a more drapey fabric, which I like a lot. And I like the neckline a lot more. The sleeves are a bit longer, which I like as well. And so yeah, I've been wearing it all the time since I blocked it again. So just yeah, that could be a solution. Like if you have a garment that you're not really wearing because the fit is not quite right, maybe reblock it. It seems like to me that that's the sort of easiest way to try something. And then if after blocking it doesn't work, then maybe it's like time to think about, I don't know, maybe frogging it entirely, or like taking back the sleeves a bit and making them longer, or whatever the issue is. But usually a good block might help, and in my case it did. So yeah, again, I don't have that much more to say, and I don't want to spend too much time on each garment. So yeah, that's the drop pullover, and that's one of my favorites at the moment. I wear it all the time. It's really warm. It's not itchy to me. I know Woolly Knit British wool is itchy to some people. To me, it really isn't. I can feel that it's rustic wool, but it's not scratchy. I don't feel like I need to take it off. Even around my neck. Right now I'm wearing it with a t-shirt, but the neckline of my t-shirt comes to here. So all of this is next to skin, and I'm completely fine. So yeah. All right, moving on to the next garment, and that is my Friday slipover by Petite Knit. This is what it looks like. I will put a picture to show, like, with me wearing it. And yeah, I knit this out of Along Avec Anna yarn in the shade Tomette. Let me see. Yeah, in the shade Tomette, which is like a nice warm pink that I like a lot. And I used her merino and her mohair held together. The mohair is incredibly soft. It's like, in quality, it's very similar to knitting for Olive, which I find mohair itchy. I don't usually use mohair. I like Suri alpaca better, or alpaca silk. but this one is completely fine, even around the neck, because it has quite a high neck, right? Or like a neck really close to the skin. And yeah, it's completely fine. I love it. I love the construction. I love knitting it. I love the details on the sleeves and everything. I think that's really, really beautiful. I haven't worn it very much. And the reason is I don't really have anything to wear it with. For the picture that I took, that I showed earlier, I'm wearing it with a white tee, which I guess like a long sleeve tee, which is fine, but I don't really like it worn like this, so it's fine. I want to keep it and I want to wear it this spring probably, and so my plan is to make myself some blouse. I think I would like some white flowy blouse, maybe with nice like puffy sleeves or something to wear it with. I have plenty, as you can see here, I've got plenty of white fabric, I've got loads of patterns, and that is one of my, not a goal or not an objective, but one of my wishes to sew a few white blouses and shirts to over the winter to wear with that, or even other things. But yeah, I made the size small, which I think was the recommended size for the fit in my chest measurement, so that was fine. And yeah, it was really easy to knit, honestly, really easy and really lovely. So yeah, that's the next, I don't think I have anything else to say about it. So that's the next one, the next garment. Moving on, the next one after that is this. It is a summer tee. It was my first time using cotton yarn, or that was a blend of cotton, linen, and let me check, bamboo, possibly. Yeah, bamboo. So that is the Florencia tee by Unit Toronto. That was a pattern that was in this, or like last summer's Liner magazine. They have like two versions in like shades of pink, so it's really pretty, and they're completely different yarns. But yeah, I made mine out of Isaiah Yarn Trio held double, because I think that's a lace weight, in the shade Nougat. It's a really lovely coppery brown, and yeah, like I said, it's 50% linen, 30% cotton, 20% bamboo, and it's absolutely lovely. I love it. My gauge was completely off. The fit has nothing to, doesn't look at all like on the pictures. I don't really care. I really like it. It's quite loose, it's quite flowy. Obviously it's very see-through because there's a lace pattern, so you have to knit something, you have to wear something underneath, which I'm completely fine with it. I have not worn that either. One reason is that, again, I don't really have anything to wear it with. I would like to make, I'm thinking kind of like a long, simple, flowy dress, and then just put that over the top. And also the other reason that I haven't worn it is that I started making it quite late in the summer, and by the time I finished it, it was too cold already to wear it, so that is why. But I'm looking forward to wearing it this summer. That is all I have to say about this one. It was quite an enjoyable knit. Really enjoyable. It's a raglan, but I think, from, if I remember correctly, it's top down, no, bottom up. And I think I stopped knitting a lot earlier when I reached the top, just to have quite a wide neckline, because of the pattern, sorry, it comes quite high, and also the pattern doesn't include short rows. So I think that when you don't have short rows and something comes kind of high, it's sort of like, it kind of like strangles you a bit, you know what I mean? I don't really like it, and I wanted something quite wide, because when I'm warm in summer, or in general when I'm really warm, I hate having things around my neck. It makes me feel way too hot. So yeah, anyway, would recommend this pattern, really lovely. I don't know if it's available as a one-off pattern just yet. I think Liner magazine has like the patterns for a while as part of their books or magazines, and then after some time they become available as a one-off thing on the designer's page. So I think it's probably going to happen in the future. I don't know that that's the case. I don't think so just yet, but it might be. that is that for this project. Oh, I made the second size on that. But again, my gauge was completely off, so I don't think it really means anything in that case. Next sweater, we've got 4 to go. Let me have a drink. Next sweater is one of my favorite as well. It's the Cinnamon Mum, I always feel weird saying this word, pullover by Tete Lutzak. I think I found Tete Lutzak this year. I don't remember like following her on Instagram before or anything, and I love her. Like, I love her patterns. She's same level as Albiona to me, you know. I absolutely love her patterns. They're beautiful. They're really well written, size inclusive, everything. She's lovely, and she's a great designer. And so this is what this sweater looks like, and I love it. It was really fun to knit. The construction was really fun, and I'm so happy with the finished result. The fit is great as well. It's quite fitted, which I'm happy with that. It's cropped to the extent that, how can I show you? The lace at the bottom, where it's, not the lace, the pattern, where it's slightly cinched in because of cables, that hits my waist, and then that goes below, so just like in between my waist and my hips. And I knit this, I didn't write down which size I knit, so I don't know. And I knit this once again using Woolly Knit, a cone that I had held double in the shade Loden Green, because Woolly Knit cones are light fingering and I wanted some sort of decay, so I held it double. That works really well for me. Yeah, in the shade Loden Green. This is a color that I love. I absolutely love this color. Yeah, it's a round yoke. It was my first time doing a round yoke. I like it. I think it fits me. I think it's comfortable to wear, so I would definitely do more in the future. And yeah, have I worn this? Not very much. Why? Because I don't have anything to wear it with. I feel like that's kind of the theme that I have, is I don't have something to wear it with. And that's sort of my goal for next year, is to be a bit more mindful of what I make, both when it comes to knitting and when it comes to sewing, so I make sure that I have things to wear together, you know what I mean? So yeah, I do have plenty of fabrics. I have some here, I have some behind me, I don't know if you can see them, to make dresses, because that is, with the fit and the size and everything, I think that's something that I will wear with dresses more than with like jeans or trousers or something. But yeah, so that is something for 2023, is make a dress, at least one dress, maybe a couple, that would go with that quite nicely. Again, Woolly Knit isn't itchy for me, but it's definitely a rustic yarn, so to bear in mind. But that color is just, it's everything. I love it so much. So yeah, it wasn't difficult to knit at all. It's got a twisted rib, it's got cable, it's got a tiny bit of lace, but honestly it's really not difficult at all, and the pattern is so well written. So if you wanted to give it a try, and you've never done cables or you've never done lace or something, I would recommend it. It's not difficult at all, and yeah, it's beautiful. I love it, and I can't wait to wear it more. I just need to make something to wear it with. I could make a shirt actually. I could like wear like a white shirt and then jeans. Like, I think that would work too. I don't know why I specifically see it in my head as to wear with a dress, which I will do, but I guess I could wear it with the jeans and the shirt, really. I don't know. My brain does funny things sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to put this away now. Love it so much. Recommend this color, absolutely. Once again, the camera just stopped recording, so I'm just going to do it the way I used to do it before. I'm not going to try with my laptop and whatever, and I'll figure this out later. So sorry if the lighting and the angle and whatever changed, but yeah, technology. So good thing I was just finished talking with my about my green sweater, my I'm all frazzled now. My Cinnamon Mum sweater. Anyway, so that is that. Let's move on to the next jumper. I've got 3 more to go. One of this next one you've seen, and the other two you have not seen, because I finished them since after recording my last podcast. Anyway, first one is this one. This is a no frills jumper by Petite Knit. This is the second one that I make, and I love it. The yarn that I use, let me see. The yarn that I use is woolly knit again. I have a big stash because I used to get a lot, like I was really obsessed, not obsessed, but I really enjoyed the yarn. They're really good yarn, and they had all sorts of offers last year, and last year in 2021 or early 2022, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I ordered a lot, so I have a lot to use. I really enjoy using it. And so yeah, so this is the no frill sweater. I made it in the size extra small, which is the first size. I don't think the no frills has the most extensive size range compared to some of Petite Knit's newer patterns. I'll just put that out there. And the yarn is Woolly Knit Diggle DK. I don't think they make it anymore, I'm not sure. And the colorway Rustic Beige Nep. It's an undyed colorway. It's wool. It's 100% wool. I think it's like 97 something percent wool, and then a bit of viscose, which is the little neps that you can see, the like tweedy effect. And yeah, this was super nice to knit, super quick, super easy, very mindless. Like the no frills, if you haven't done it or heard about it before, it's really easy. You cast on at the top, join in the round, and then knit in the round all the way. And because it's plain stockinette mostly, except for the ribbing, it just flies off the needle. It's very enjoyable. It is very enjoyable to knit. What else to say about this? I wear it all the time. I love this one. It's just my easy, I don't know what to wear, I'm just throw this on and I'm fine. And I'm happy. I wear it with jeans mostly, and yeah, I think I've worn this like pretty much for like at all the knit nights. So I go to a knit night once a week, and I think I've worn it every time since I finished it, because usually I'm kind of rushing after work to get to knit night and I don't want to think, and I just throw this on. So yeah, maybe maybe my friends at knit nights think I only have one sweater. I mean, obviously they don't, but that's all I wear. Anyway, it is really nice. I really enjoy it and would recommend. I don't have anything to say. I've worn it a lot and it hasn't bubbled, which I think is because it's like British wool. It's quite rustic, and so it's not the kind of wool that bubbles easily. Yeah, it hasn't bubbled. It hasn't felted anywhere. Not even like on the underarms. Sometimes that's where it happens, but so far so good. Love it. Wear it all the time. Very happy with it. Also a neutral color, which is great. It just goes with everything. Don't really have to think too much about it. So yeah, my no frills number 2. Next one. So this is a new one that you haven't seen finished. I talked about it on my podcast because I was knitting on it, so it was a whip then, but now it's a finished object. I'll go into more details about it in my next podcast, like normal podcast, but I'm just going to show it to you. And this is my, let me check my project page. This is my crescendo sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl, and this is what it looks like. And I love it. It's so nice. It's such a nice color. Yeah, I think that's a good representation. It's a really lovely color. The yarn is by Durarum Natura. It's their Serrano yarn, so the thickest of all the yarn that they make, I think, is in kind of Aran weight. Yeah, it is Aran. It's 150 meters per 100 grams, and that is in the shade Aubépine, which is a really nice, deep, dark red. And it's 100% merino. It's really soft, not itchy at all, because it's, I mean, not to me anyway, but I don't really know anyone who finds merino itchy, but I'm sure some people do, but really, like, really soft. And yeah, really nice to knit. It was on I knit it on 6.5 millimeters, which is I think the largest needles I've ever used, and I'm fine with it. It's fine. I think larger than that, like 8 or 9 or 10 would be, I would find it kind of uncomfortable. But yeah, it's fine. I love it. I've worn it quite a bit. Because of this lovely red is a bit of a festive color. I did not intend it as a Christmas sweater or a festive sweater, but I think the red can make it that. If I want to, I will wear it outside of Christmas. And so yeah, I wore it a few times at Christmas dinners with friends, and it's been great. I've been toying with the idea of lengthening the sleeves, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Like they're just fine. They could be a little bit better. We'll see. And yeah, I mean it's new, right? I finished it in December, so it's fairly new, and it hasn't bubbled that much. A very tiny bit, which is it's fine. That's what you expect of merino anyway. But yeah, like very barely. I think it will as I keep wearing it. I think it will bubble, but I also think it's the kind of yarn that after you depeel it once or twice, then it just stops bubbling. So yeah, and again, it's merino. I expect that from merino. I don't mind. I really don't. So yeah, that's the crescendo sweater. I made it in the size C, which is a little bit bigger than what I would do. I think I was in between the size B and the size C for my bust measurement, and so well, not in between, but I could have done, I think it was like I could do the size B with like 10 centimeters of positive ease, and then do the size C with like 15 centimeters or something. And so I decided, because I wanted to be cozy and a bit oversized and everything, I decided to go for the larger of the two sizes. And yeah, highly recommend the pattern. Super easy. I would say it's beginner friendly, and then the yarn is really lovely. So yeah, again, I'll talk more about this sweater and give you more details about it in my next podcast episode. But that was the second to last sweater that I made this year, and we will move on to the last one, which again, if you have seen my podcast, you would know that I was working on it. Let me pull up the Ravelry page for that, and it is this one. This is quite a large sweater, as you can see. It is not for me. It is the one gift sweater that I made this year, and I made it for my husband for Christmas. And yeah, I'm gonna come closer, I think, because the color doesn't show well so far back, but yeah, here you can see the color okay. It's a bit more vibrant in the sun, but the sun is not something we've got today. So, and then you can see the texture as well. The pattern is the single malt sweater by Maxim Stir on Ravelry, or I guess his full name, but I think he's called Max the Knitter on Instagram. It is quite a popular pattern. I know last year a lot of people were knitting it as gifts for their husbands, partners, sons, whatever. And I think a lot of people are doing the same this year. A lot of you were telling me after my last episode that you were also doing that. So I think it's awesome. I think it's kind of fun if we all met one day and then all our partners would be wearing the same sweaters. That would be really fun. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. It was really fun to knit. I was a bit worried that it was going to take me forever, because it's such, like, I usually, for me, I'm in like the 1, 2, 3 smaller sizes of a women's pattern. And for my husband, I made as the 5th size in a men's sweater. So that's a lot more knitting, and I was concerned that I was just going to be too long and I was going to get not bored but tired of it, and it didn't happen. I mean, towards the end I was a bit like, oh, I'm ready for the next project, but that happens with any project, so that's not specific to that. The patterning, the texture is quite fun to knit and not complicated at all, just knits and purls. And yeah, the yarn that I use is a cone from JC Rennie, or I think Knit Rennie. They're a mill in the Highlands in Scotland, and they make beautiful yarn beautiful cones of yarn in a lot of colors. This color is blueberry, and the yarn itself is 100% lamb's wool. It is really soft. It bloomed quite a lot with washing, which is to be expected when you use a yarn on a cone, because usually when it comes on a cone it still has some of the spinning oil on it, and this one did, which sort of keeps the fibers kind of stuck together, which makes it actually quite nice for knitting because it doesn't split. But then when you wash it, obviously all the oil comes out and it just blooms. Like, it bloomed so much, it blew my mind. And yeah, I'd ordered for that an 850 gram cone. They also do 500 gram cones, but that was not enough. And the thing I used, I think, like 550 grams for the sweater, so I have quite a bit left, and I'll make other things with it. But yeah, it's just beautiful yarn and a really nice sweater. My husband loves it and wears it all the time, and it fits great. So I would highly recommend this pattern. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed knitting it, and he enjoys wearing it, so win-win. And that is all for the sweaters. I had a pile of sweaters here when I started, and now I have a pile on the other side, all done. I'm gonna have a sip of tea, which has gone cold, but that's all right. And we will move on to the accessories. A lot less. I don't remember what I said at the start. Oh yeah, 4 accessories, 3 hats, 1 headband. One of the hats was a gift. Let's go. We're going through this. So the first hat that I made, this in 2022, is this one. This hat is the Slouchy Beanie by Inga of Knitting Traditions. It is the second one that I was knitting, and I knit it in yarn by Zakami in the shade Unsung Hero, 2 strands together. So one is Superwash Merino and one is what is it called? Baby Sorry Alpaca. I love the yarn. It's beautiful. The alpaca is so soft. It has the same kind of halo as mohair, but it's a million times softer on me. I love it. The color is beautiful. The pattern is beautiful. My problem is it's too big. It already came out a bit big after I knit it, which meant that I ended up wearing it more as a slouchy beanie, which was not my initial plan, but which I didn't mind at all. Actually, I thought it looked quite good. It felt quite comfortable because of the fluffiness of the alpaca. It's really warm. But yeah, the thing is that with wear, it has it's grown, and now it's like it's actually too big. It's sort of like it doesn't really hold well on my head, like it slides on my forehead. Or the other day I was wearing it and it was really windy and I felt like it was going to blow off. So yeah, which is a shame because I love the yarn so much. So what I think I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna frog it. I made the adult medium. Maybe I could have made the adult small, but it's the second one that I made, and the last time I made the medium as well, and it fit nice, so I didn't really think. Like, I got same size, same yarn, same size, same needle, same hat size, same needle size, and the thing is that the yarn was different, and so it behaved differently. So anyway, I'm gonna frog this, like the 2 strands together. I'm not gonna bother like separating them, and then I'm just gonna re-knit a hat out of it. I still have a little bit left over if I need it, and I think knowing how this fabric behaves with wear, I think I'm gonna do like full-on ribbed hat. I think that's the best bet because it's just so stretchy and everything. I think it's the best bet for me to do that, and probably go down in needle sizes. But yeah, just my fault really. I mean, it's not a big deal, like it's just a hat, right? But yeah, I love the yarn and I want to do something with it, and I want to have it for myself to wear. So I'm gonna frog it and re-knit it into something else. Yeah, so that was hat number 1. Hat number 2 is another hat for me. Speaking of ribbed hat, this is one of them. This was yarn by the Fiber Fox. I think it was their merino cashmere nylon base. Really lovely yarn. And I made, the pattern is the expanding rib beanie by Albiona, and I like it a lot. I wear it quite a bit. I like the ribbing. I think it gives you like a really nice fit for a hat, and yeah, I wear it quite a bit. It's quite light because it's fingering weight, and which I like, because my intention when I made that is to wear it when I go running in the winter, and so I want something that is warm enough to keep me warm when I start running, but not so warm that I'm just overheating while I'm running, because you know you warm up quickly, and this really serves that purpose. So very happy with it. Again, I made the adult medium size. I believe that pattern is the patterns that comes in like a lot of sizes, as do all of Albiona's patterns, but also in different weight, like light fingering, medium weight, which is DK, and I think heavier weight, which is probably Erin. And so she tells you, like, you can choose, you can basically make it in any size and any yarn that you have, which I think is absolutely great. And yeah. So that is the second hat, which I still wear a lot, so that's good. And then a third hat that I made is the gift that I made for my husband, I think for his birthday, because I remember I was wearing knitting on it in like late spring, which is around the time of his birthday. So, and this is another Albiona's pattern, and this is the Tailor's Rib Beanie. And that was a fun one because unlike the other one, in a lot of hat patterns, you don't cast on at the hem here, you cast on at the top and then you knit down, which I thought was great, especially for a gift, because then he could try it on and I could like knit until it was a size that, or length that suited him. The yarn that I used, so I made the size adult plus, which I think is just like the larger size probably. And the yarn that I used was West Yorkshire Spinners, the Croft Erin, weight in the shade Belmont. Yeah, I used a little bit over 100 grams just for the larger size, and she says it in the pattern that like if you do the larger size you might need more than 100 grams of yarn, so just so you know. And yeah, he likes it. He wears it all the time. So my husband shaves his head, so, or like doesn't, yeah, it doesn't really, he does shave his head, it doesn't really have hair, so he's cold easily, like, and so he wears beanies all the time, a lot of the time at home as well. And so yeah, he wears this one all the time. We picked the size together just to make sure that it was like, that it fit, but that it wasn't tight at all, because obviously, as you can imagine, having something tight around your head for hours on end just like drives you nuts, right? It just gives you headaches and things, so we really didn't want that. And so yeah, he wears it pretty much every day, I have to say. Loves it. The inside has felted, or like, yeah, felted a really tiny bit, but again, like I said, like he shaves his head, so a lot of the time it's like stubble, and it's quite rough, right, on the yarn. Like it's quite yeah, it's rough on the fiber, so it's felted a little bit, but it doesn't show at all on the outside, and I guess that just makes it sturdy. And yeah, I personally find that I made it a bit too long, and so the brim when he folds it is quite wide, but he doesn't mind, so we're good. Yeah, so that was the Tailor's Rib Beanie by Albiona that I knit for my husband, and just like the sweater, he loves it, he wears it, so everyone's happy. And then final accessory is this headband that I made. I absolutely love it. This is by Fiber Tales. This is the Hydra headband. There's a mitten pattern that matches, which I haven't knit, but I still have a bit of yarn from that left. Not enough, but I could buy another ball. And because I hold it double, to knit this, it doesn't really matter if the dye lot is not exactly the same, because I could just hold everything double and it would be, like, it wouldn't show, I think. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It was so much fun to knit. I loved making those little braids. Again, wear it all the time. Sometimes I wear that for running when it's not really, really cold. So I have something on my ears, but I'm not overheating. And also sometimes I just want to have my hair up, and with the hat or beanie, it's kind of tricky. And so a headband is great for that. I plan to make more next year. The only modification that I made is that I folded the, I attached it that way. So the pattern says to sort of sew it or like graft it together so the whole headband just looks flat like this. I decided to do this twist, which on me fits better. I like having this. I put the twist at the base of my skull at the back, and I think it fits me better. I find that if I just make it flat, it tends to slide off more, or like it doesn't stay put on my head the way I like it. So yeah, it's really soft. I don't think I told you what the yarn was. The yarn is John Arbon Textiles Alpaca Supreme, and that is 40% alpaca, 40% merino, 20% silk. So you can imagine how soft it is. Not itchy at all. I love the color. This is exactly what I was hoping for. And now that I've seen it, that I see it again in recording this, I really want to make the mittens, the matching mittens. So much to knit, not enough time. But yeah, so that is the last of the accessories. Was there a size? I made the size wide, so I guess, yeah, so you knit it like this, and so you can choose like wide or narrower. I did wide, and then you just knit to whatever length you want, really. So yeah, the Hiedra headband by Fiber Tales. Lovely pattern. Recommend the yarn as well. I will link all the pages, all the project pages in my Ravelry and everything down below. So if you wanted to check the name of the yarn, the name of the pattern, whatever, you can go there, and it will be available. If you don't find it, if you don't use Ravelry, if you can't use Ravelry and want information, then please absolutely let me know. Drop me a comment below and I will answer your questions, no problem. All right, that went much faster than the sweaters, and we will now move on to the socks. So like I said, I'm not gonna show all the socks that I made. I made 11 pairs, 7 of them were gifts, and a lot of those gifts I no longer have because they've been gifted to people who don't live with me or near me. So yeah, and a lot of them are vanilla socks, so not really a lot to talk about. I've talked about it in a previous episode. If you want to check this out, it's also on my Ravelry if you want to check this out. So yeah, I've selected, however, 5 pairs to show you because there was something a bit special about them. So in no particular order, I will start by showing you this one. Oh, I've got fluff in my nose. So this pair of vanilla socks, this is DK weight. The yarn is DK weight. It's not a fingering held double, it's an actual DK weight. And the yarn is by Zekami Yarn, and they gifted me this yarn to it was a new base to try out, and specific, like, we're friends, and so they'd asked me if I could knit a pair so they could take pictures for their websites and things like that of that new base. The base in question is their merino silk sock, so I think it is part superwash merino and then part silk as opposed to nylon. And yeah, in the DK weight, and the colorway I think was called Signet, and it's really lovely. It was a sock set, so it came with this main skein and then the mini skein, the 20-gram mini. In my excitement, I forgot that on DK weight a 20-gram mini is not always enough to do heel cuffs and toes of socks, or not in the way I knit my socks anyway. I do a heel flap and gusset, which I think uses up more yarn than other kinds of heels, but so one has a cuff in the color of the main skein and one has a dark gray cuff. I really don't care. I really like it. I wear them all the time. And the reason that those were a bit special and I'm making it to today's episode is because first of all, the base was a new one to me. I'd never done merino silk, and I just wanted to report on the wear. So I finished knitting those at the end of February 2022, and I wear them all the time. They're in my rotation. I don't have a million pair of socks, so I wear them all. I wash them all, and yeah, so I wear them at least like 2-3 times a month. I wear them at home, I'm gonna say that, because they're quite thick, so they're too thick to put in my boots, like they don't just make my shoes too tight. I wear them at home and I'm home all the time, so yeah. They're on my feet for hours and hours, and they've worn really well. They're very, very, very slightly felted underneath, which is what you would expect of socks anyway, but like no different than your 75-25 yarn with nylon, like absolutely no difference. So yeah, they've worn really well, very comfortable, extremely soft and warm, and I like them. So that was the first pair of socks. The second pair, or I guess I'm going to show these two together. These are 2 pairs of socks that I made this year. Again, vanilla socks with contrasting heels, cuffs and toes. Both of these are a fingering weight. Both of these came as a kit. I love them. They're 75-25, like merino nylon, your basic sock yarn, both from hand dyers. So this comes from Giddy Knits and this comes from the Little Grey Girl. I bought those as kits or sock sets, and this is self-striping. I love self-striping. And yeah, so the reason I'm showing them, first of all, is because I think these are 2 of my favorite pairs. I love this one. The second it's clean, I wear it again. I absolutely love the color. I absolutely love the colors of this one as well. And also the other reason why I'm showing those to you is because they came in a set that had a 50-gram main skein and then a 20-gram mini, as opposed to the 100-gram main skein and the 20-gram mini that we often see in sock sets. That's kind of the standard, although I find that there's more and more 50-20 sock sets, and I like it. I like that the main skein is only 50 grams because for me that is enough, and that means I don't really have any leftovers, maybe like a gram or 2 of the main skein, and then same thing, like a gram of the mini. I always have like just a tiny bit, and I love that because I don't want to have random leftover if I can avoid it. It's fine if I do, but if I can avoid it, I'm happy with that. So yeah, it works for my size. So I usually do 50 rounds for the legs, and then I'm a UK size 6.5 or 7. I'm a European size 39. So yeah, for me, a 50-gram main skein is enough. It's absolutely enough, and I don't have any leftovers. Obviously, if you like to make your legs longer, or if you have bigger feet, then that might not be enough, but for me it is, and I love that, and I love that it seems that more dyers are doing this now, offering their sock sets as either with a 100-gram main or a 50-gram main, and I think that's great. So yeah, love those socks. And then the last 2 pairs of socks that I will show, and then we will conclude this episode, is this one and this one. As you can see, we're going on much bigger socks than the ones that I showed you before, and that is because there's gift socks that I made for my husband. So the first one was, I think, a Christmas gift for, let me check, for this Christmas 2021 that I finished late. So I finished them in January, which is why they're making it onto the video. The yarn is by Giddy Yarn, again, another one of her self-striping. I love her self-striping yarns. They're just really, really beautiful. And then I used for the heel and the toe, I used a random mini that I had, I think from a mystery box. I don't remember when I had it. I thought it matched color-wise well, so I used that. And this is a 3x1 rib that I made. I always make the leg a bit longer for him, and obviously like the foot he's got big feet, right? Like he's a UK size, I think 13 or 14 is the European size, like 49 or 50 or something. And so yeah, and like a sock set with a 50-gram main, like I was talking about before, not enough for him. Definitely not. So that was 100 gram. I do have a bit left over, but yeah. And I'm showing those to you because he is very hard wearing on his socks, unlike me. Like he wears them all the time at home, in boots, in shoes, whatever shoes he's wearing, he's just wearing those socks, right? And so they have felt it. Like I don't know if you can see, how can I show you? Yeah, maybe like this. The heel is really felted. Under the foot it's felting, it's bubbling under the toe as well, which is great. I'm absolutely not complaining about that. I love that he really likes his socks that make him and that he wears them a lot. I'm showing it to you because usually when I make socks for him, I use West Yorkshire Spinner sock yarn because it's like, I think it's like a BFL or something. It's quite a sturdy type of wool. Hen dyed is merino, which doesn't, in my opinion, wear as well as BFL or other wools. And I was a bit apprehensive when I made those socks for him. I wanted to make those because he really liked the yarn, and the self-striping is so beautiful. And hello, and yeah, it's just beautiful yarn that he wanted, but I wasn't sure how they would wear. And I'm very, very, very happily surprised that they are wearing so well. Like they're felting, but there's no sign of a hole anywhere. Like it doesn't look like there's gonna be, like I'm not, ooh, I have to keep an eye on that and there may be a hole coming up soon or whatever. Like they're just fine. I guess like felting also makes it sturdier, but yeah, they're just fine. So yeah, that was one of the pair of socks that I made him in merino nylon hand-dyed yarn, which are wearing a lot better than I expected them to. And then the other one, I'm showing them to you because I like them, he likes them, and it's also a really nice pattern. So those are the Wave Run socks by Albiona. You start at the top, you have this little wavy bit here, it's and then it's just stockinette. And I think they look really nice. I like the color. The yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners, and the signature for plies, so they're sock yarn in the colorway Nutmeg for the nutmeg color, and then Milk Bottle for the white. And once again, like I do a slip stitch heel flap, and it's felted so much that you can't really see it anymore, which I don't mind. Again, it's great. Like it's wearing so well. It's like nice and felted and sturdy, and like considering how much, like how hard wearing he is on his socks, I think it's great. And same thing, like let me show you under the foot. It's crazy how much it's felted. I finished those in June, so early June. So he's had them like seven months, and do you see that? Like felting, bubbling. Yeah, you can't see the slipped stitches anymore. Like usually it does like nice columns like this, can't see anything. But yeah, I'm wearing really great, and that makes me really happy that he's really enjoying his socks. And then like again, it's a sock. If there's a hole in it, like if there's a hole in it after wearing them twice, that's a bit disappointing. But I think these will last him at least, like, I don't know, many months and years, hopefully. And if eventually a hole, like he makes a hole in them, that's fine. That's not a big deal. It's just a sock. I can always knit another one. But yeah, and the pattern is lovely. If you're looking for an interesting sock pattern, but that's not too complicated, then I would definitely recommend that, because then you have a bit of interest at the start, and then it's just plain stockinette and you don't really have to think about it that much. So yeah, that was the last pair of socks that I wanted to show you. There's more, like I said, there's more, but they're a bit boring, and or I don't have them anymore. So yeah, there's pictures on my Ravelry if you're curious, or there's also, I talked about them in previous episodes, so if you've been following me for a while, you've seen them already. Yeah, I don't know where we're at time-wise, because my phone stopped recording a few times. I think maybe around an hour, a little bit over an hour, which is good. Obviously, I was flying a bit through everything. I hope that's okay. Again, if you wanted more details about a specific pattern, it's either you can either go back into the podcast and find the episode where I was talking about it, or you can look on my Ravelry, or you can just message me here in the comments or on Instagram if you'd like, if you're following me there. And yeah, I think I will wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's my first time doing something that's not technically a podcast. I am planning to also do another bit of a special video talking about what I plan to knit in 2023. I did a little poll on Instagram asking if that is something that you would be interested about, and quite a few of you said yes. So I will do that. Hopefully I can record it next weekend and then post it as soon as it's ready. I'll see. I have like it's sort of all sorted already, because I went around the other day with little cards and or like little tags, and I wrote on it the project, and then I tied, or like the pattern name, and then I tied that little tag around the yarn that I want to use for that. So now if I go into my stash, I can just look at the skein and then be like, oh, this is what I want to make with it, and just get going. It felt good, because it felt that like I know what I'm going to use most of my yarn for, and I think that's really nice, because I always find it a bit it makes me a bit anxious when I have yarn that I don't know what to do with. Yeah, I mean, I still have a lot of yarn that I don't know what to do with, and they're beautiful yarn, or I know vaguely, like, I know, oh, this I would like to make a shawl with it, I just don't know what pattern. But it felt really nice to go around my yarn stash and adding those little tags to all the yarn where I had a specific project in mind, and there's more than I thought, and so I think that felt very satisfying to me. I also had to like to have it like this as opposed to have it in my queue on Ravelry, because I don't really use the queue feature of Ravelry. So I don't know, it looks cute to have a little tag on my yarn with the pattern name and everything. So yeah, all that to say that I will record that video as soon as I can, and talking about my plans for 2023. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to knit all of this or to not change my mind. Like, I always change my mind anyway, but it's nice to have a plan, and then we adjust as the year goes by, as the patterns are released, as the yarn stash grows. So yeah, I will stop here. Once again, very, very happy New Year to all of you. Thank you for being there every time and watching my podcast and leaving me a comment down below or a thumbs up. My YouTube channel has grown quite a bit this year, and that is all thanks to you. So thank you very much. It is really the best that you can do if you want to support a podcaster, is leave a comment and hit like, and yeah, it's very simple, and that's just what helps our channel grow. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.